Hi, this is Justin Grant. I'm doing a video of myself for Biology 168, identifying all the bones of the body. I'll start with the cranium. Have the nasal bone, have the lacrimal bones, forming what I call the tear ducts, the zygomatic bone of the cheekbone, the maxillary bone forms what I call the top row of teeth. You have the temporal bone, which is the temple. For this one, the palatine, I'm going to use this other skull I have here. This forms the roof of the mouth, which would be here. Not where the sphenoid would be, but kind of in between. Our book shows us that it is forming the roof of the mouth. So yeah, about there, roof of the mouth. Alright, I got palatine, anterior roof of the mouth, parietal. The parietal. Alright, for the parietal bone, I'm going to say this is the back 2/3 of the head, the skull. It's not all the way completely to the back of the head. I have next the frontal, which would be the forehead bone. The ethmoid is the interior of the nose. So that's this region here. Next I have the vomer, which is the low interior of the nose. I assume forming the interior of the nasal cavity, so that will be about here, a little bit further back, dividing the nose into left and right. The sphenoid is the butterfly bone of the interior of the skull, which connects from all the way from one side of the skull to the other side of the skull, right in channels where the veins can go through. The mandible or the jawline is this region. Occipital is the back of the head. And the hyoid is the free-floating bone of the neck here, the throat. All right, going into the chest and spine area, we have the sternum, the clavicle, and then you have the scapula on the back of the chest. Then you have 7 cervical vertebrae. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then you have the thoracic, which is 12 of those. So from that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 there for the cervical. You have 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of the thoracic. And then 5 for the lumbar vertebra. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, then we're going into the sacrum here of the pelvis area, and the coccyx bone, the butt bone. The ilium of the pelvis, the part we put our hands on. The ischium is at the bottom, the bone where we sit on. Then you have the pubis, which is the front, what I call the front cross section here of the pelvis. Now going back to the arms and legs, we're going from, I said, the clavicle, then goes into the scapula of the back of the chest. Then we have the humerus, which is what I consider the bicep area of the upper arm. You have the, going out to the forearm section, you have the radius and the ulna. I can tell the difference in these two is the radius is the one that rotates. The rotating part. So your hand is saying, when you hold your hand out, shake a hand, and then you rotate it over for someone to put something in your hand. All right. Into the carpals of the wrist. Going from thumb to pinky, I remember the phrase, "She looks too pretty, try to call her." So the scaphoid, the lunate, triquestum, pisiform, and trapezium, trapezoid, capitate, and hamate would be on the pinky side. All right. The metacarpals form the palm of your hand. So these bones here, they have one that goes to each finger, even including your thumb. And proximal phalanges and distal phalanges. So proximal means closer, but they're the fingertips. And proximal closer, distal outer. So this row, the thumb and the fingers, distal, the fingertip there of the thumb, and the tips of the fingers for grip. All right, going into the legs. The femur, the largest bone of the thigh. Your patellas, your kneecap. You have the tibia and the fibia of the calf. How I'm remembering those is the big tough tibia and small feeble fibia. All right, and going for the foot. I have brought this, I'm using this foot for example of that. I have the talus, this bone here, which connects from what I could say looks like it connects the fibia to the foot. The calcaneus, the heel. Let me put it here, maybe, so you can get a better look there. Calcaneus of the heel. Then you have navicular, which is the top of the foot, I'm going to say, because it's not the talus, which is the joint connecting the fibia. And then navicular there. All right, going from the big toe to the pinky toe, we have the cuneiforms. Medial, which is the anterior, middle, or intermediate, and then lateral, and then you have the cuboid over here on the pinky side. So let me make that a little clearer. Maybe we couldn't see that because of how I was holding it. You have the medial inner one, middle or intermediate cuneiform, and then the lateral cuneiform, and then over here, that's cuboid on the side where the pinky toe would be. All right, the metatarsals of the foot, just like in the palm of the hand, you have one going from each toe. So they join the. Then you have the phalanges here of the feet. Alright, your toes. There. Alright, pardon my descriptions, but that's just how I'm using what I'm using to help myself remember it. Alright, hope it helps anyone else who may see it as well.